Ever since Black Ops 7 was first revealed a few weeks ago, there has been a lot of hate surrounding this game, to the point where it's really difficult to go in any comment section regarding Black Ops 7 without seeing people spamming it with how much more excited they are for Battlefield 6 than Black Ops 7. And I have made some videos sharing criticism myself, but overall I have been way more hopeful for Black Ops 7 than the average person. And I wanted to do a video going over why I feel that way. Why am I so hopeful for this game? Why do I think it's going to turn out to be a pretty good Call of Duty title? And although we're going to be talking about the game as a whole, I do want to say I am more hopeful for multiplayer than anything else. I think I have a lot more concerns for zombies, just because I haven't been a big fan of a lot of the modern zombie systems, and I feel like a lot of those systems are probably going to continue into Black Ops 7 without that many changes. But of course, the zombies reveal is going to be very, very soon, so we will learn a lot more when that comes around, and maybe things will prove me wrong, and maybe it'll be a lot better than I'm expecting. But regardless of that, even zombies I do think will probably be a pretty decent mode. I think it will be better than Black Ops 6. I think it will be better than Black Ops Cold War. Will it be one of the best of all time? Will it be better than Black Ops 3? Probably not. But I do expect it to be an improvement over Black Ops 6 at the very least. The recent week had a lot of people worried because it was recently rumored that we were going to be seeing the Black Ops 7 zombies reveal during that week. And this is because it was said in a few places the reveal was going to be early September, so obviously people were expecting it to be last week. But of course, it's actually going to be next week, and so people were really worried, but I think it was probably just simple as they just wanted to take an extra week to really prepare things better. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think that's the end of the world. I don't even think it's particularly concerning either. I don't really think it has much to do with the actual game itself. It's just more so they wanted to prepare the marketing in a different way. They did release a singular teaser image of Black Ops 7 Zombies, which looks really good. It's a shot of the Wonder Vehicle, and I love the color palette on this. It's already looking pretty cool. But my main worry for this map has been, what are the mechanics going to be of this game? Are we going to see some classic mechanics, or is it just going to be split into a classic mode, or is there not going to be a classic mode at all? We really have no idea, so hopefully we'll get more information on that really, really soon. So going back to the original question, why am I so hopeful for this game? Well, for starters, the fact that this game is getting so much hate already and there's so many people uninterested in it is already a good sign for the game, which is crazy to say, I know, but hear me out. When franchises have a lot of people hating on it, they have reasons to make changes. When people are not hating on it, they have no reasons to make changes. It's pretty simple. I would just call this the feedback loop. I know a lot of people like to make the argument that they don't listen to feedback ever, which I think that's an insane statement to make because objectively they do listen to feedback. I think the issue is that sometimes it takes them too long to listen to feedback, or maybe they don't make the very specific changes that everybody wants, because of course we all want different things out of this franchise. A lot of the criticism that's being thrown at Black Ops 7 right now is criticism I don't even have myself for the franchise. So I think it's the developers' jobs and the studio as a whole to make changes that will benefit as many people as possible while trying to keep the core foundation of the game intact and making sure that you're trying to please enough people without actually making it so it ends up not pleasing anyone. And this doesn't have to only be for specific changes made to the game. It could also be for just general support for the game. I do believe support for the game tends to be better when there's more people hating on it because they know they need to put as much into the game as possible to get more people interested even if they didn't like it previously. This happened during the supply drop era of Call of Duty. Black Ops 3 had a lot of people loving that game. There were so many people playing it. People were in love with the multiplayer. Not everyone, but of course a lot of people were. It was a very popular game, and so they really took advantage of that by making the microtransaction system one of the most egregious systems of all time, where they put the guns behind the supply drops and made it so that was the only way of obtaining them. And even though people had a problem with that supply drop system, they kept playing the game anyways because the game was just that good. But when Infinite Warfare came around, not enough people were interested in Infinite Warfare for them to keep doing a system like that and expect it to work. So they had to make changes. They had to sit down and go, okay, we really need to make this a much more fair system so more people will be convinced to play. And they ended up making DLC guns free to earn in that game, and season pass holders got the guns right away. Of course, they did have some variants that were exclusive to supply drops, but there was very few variants that actually were exclusive to them. Most of them you could grind and get for free. So it ended up being a pretty good supply drop system. Call of Duty World War II comes out, and although there definitely was more people excited for that game, they definitely made some great changes to the supply drop system by making it way more fair, to the point where I was easily able to get all 40 plus DLC guns for free. But I will say this theory does kind of fall apart a little bit when you think about Black Ops 4. Now, I personally don't think the supply drop system in Black Ops 4 was that bad for majority of the year. It was only bad from June to October. That's when they locked guns in supply drops. Other than that, they actually weren't locking guns in supply drops. They had them free to earn through the battle pass, which was a free battle pass. But I do think this game was the the complete opposite situation where I think Black Ops 4 wasn't that popular and they were just using that game as a guinea pig at that point. I think it was quite unfair to Treyarch. I don't think it was their decision. I think Activision was probably making it happen, and it definitely led to a lot of problems during that game's lifecycle. Thankfully, once the game finished its lifecycle, they made the system very fair so you can directly earn any DLC gun you want, and now it's a pretty good system in retrospect. But overall, I do think Black Ops 7 is going to be taking a similar approach to Infinite Warfare, where because there's so many people who are hating on the game even before it comes out, I think they're going to be doing a lot of good stuff with the post-launch season, including giving us a lot of free-to-earn cosmetics, including animated camos, which they did a great job with that in Modern Warfare 3 2023, so I think the same is going to be the case for Black Ops 7. There's also the elephant in the room of Battlefield 6 and Grand Theft Auto 6. These are two huge games coming out within the next few months. Well, of course, Battlefield 6 is coming out in a month, but GTA 6 comes out in May of next year. Both these games are releasing close to Black Ops 7, whether it's right before it or during its life cycle. So that is direct competition with Black Ops 7, and I do think Activision and Treyarch are aware of that, so they're going to be pushing out a lot more content than they usually do in order to make sure this game doesn't lose too many players, or maybe doesn't even get enough players in the first place. I've seen some people say that these games aren't direct competition to Call of Duty because they aren't that similar to Call of Duty, but I don't agree with that whatsoever. I don't think it matters whether the games are similar. All that matters is that these games exist and are very popular, because a lot of casual players only decide to purchase a few games per year. They're not going to go through and buy literally every popular game that comes out, so they're going to pick and choose. And the fact that Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out really soon, we also have Battlefield 6 coming out, some people might choose only those two games to buy, and they might decide to skip Call of Duty this year. It's entirely possible. But of course, with stuff like Game Pass, there's going to be lots of people playing it anyways. I'm sure Black Ops 7 is going to do fantastic, but I do think the competition of these other two games existing is going to push the studios to do a lot more for Black Ops 7 in order to keep up with it. This is also Treyarch's last game until 2028, at least it's what the current assumption is, which means Treyarch does have quite a while until they have to start pumping out content for their next Call of Duty. They're going to start working on it real soon, don't get me wrong, but they don't have to be fully pumping out content for it so soon, which was a big problem with Black Ops 6, where they were in a situation where they needed to have a new game come out the next year when Black Ops 6 first released. Now, of course, apparently Treyarch has been working on Black Ops 6 and 7 back-to-back for the past couple of years, but I do think a lot of post-launch support that could have went to Black Ops 6 was canceled so they can add more stuff to Black Ops 7. They really want Black Ops 7 to have as much stuff as possible, and you could already tell at launch they're planning a lot of content, so this does make sense. This is a very similar situation to the jump from Modern Warfare 2 2022 to Modern Warfare 3 2023 that we saw a few years ago. Of course, it's a bit different because in that situation, it was two different studios making each game. Of course, Sledgehammer had some help from Infinity Ward and Treyarch for various modes, but in general, it was Sledgehammer's title, whereas this year, it's mostly Treyarch's game, with Raven Software making the campaign, as well as there's rumors that Sledgehammer might be helping out with this game a little bit in the multiplayer, but we're not 100% certain on that. But it's a similar situation because it does feel like they're holding a lot of the content from Black Ops 6 for Black Ops 7, which definitely happened with the Modern Warfare 2 to Modern Warfare 3 jump, where it felt like there's a lot of changes and things that could have happened for Modern Warfare 2 that they held off for Modern Warfare 3 to make that game as popular as it could be, because they already expected Modern Warfare 2 2022 to do really good, but they weren't expecting that all to carry forward to the next game. So of course they had to do a lot extra to get people to play that game regardless, which is what they're probably going to be doing for Black Ops 7. Now, Treyarch has already announced a bunch of changes they're making for Black Ops 7 over the past week, and there's even a couple leaks as well. And I wanted to kind of go over all of this instead of making individual videos on each of these things that were talked about over the past week. I just want to talk about it all in one single video. So the first thing I want to talk about are the skins. They have made massive changes to what the Vault Edition skins are going to look like, because a lot of people were criticizing them. Now, I was not one of those people. I really didn't have a problem with how these Vault Edition skins looked. Did I think there could have been some changes to make them a bit better? Sure, but I actually didn't really have a problem with them whatsoever. But they have gone through and changed 3 of them. The Reaper skin, they left pretty much the same, which I think is totally fine because it does look really, really good. But the Karma skin, the Harper skin, and the Ted skin have all gotten significant changes, and I do think the changes are overall a bit better. The Harper one definitely looks better. Like I said, I didn't have a problem with the previous one, but I do think the new one looks better. Ted has now gotten 2 skins. One of the skins looks more similar to what it looked like in the original Vault Edition image, which I think looks pretty good, but then the other Ted skin looks more like the Ted from Black Ops 2 Zombies, which I think is a bit more fitting for the game considering it actually looks like Ted. The Karma skin I think looks fine, but I honestly don't think think the new version of it looks that crazy to be a Vault Edition skin. It looks more like a default skin. It still looks good, and I think it definitely is worth using, but I don't prefer it over the original version, which might be a hot take. I know a lot of people thought the original version looked too goofy or silly or whatever, but I thought it looked fine. Overall, definitely happy with most of this though, and I think it is good that they listened to feedback and they actually made changes for how these skins are going to look. I think this is a great example of them listening. Like I said many times before, I am totally fine with having colorful and even somewhat goofy or silly skins. I just don't want to see stuff like Beavis and Butthead and all those cartoon cel-shaded skins. Those skins take it too far, and I hope Black Ops 7 has none of that. I don't think it will, but I do want to see some really colorful, interesting, futuristic skins that fit the identity of Black Ops, even if some of them are a bit out there and maybe could be considered a bit goofy or silly or maybe even unrealistic in some circumstances. But in general, if it fits the identity of Black Ops, I don't see the issue with it. Even if it slightly goes outside the identity of Black Ops, as long as it's interesting and cool, and again, not this cel-shaded cartoon skin that doesn't fit an action game whatsoever, I don't want to see that. But everything else is totally fine with me, and I think Black Ops 7 is going to do a pretty good job with this. Are there going to be some people that are unhappy no matter what? Probably. I know there's a lot of people who want literally zero skins in this game whatsoever. They want all the skins to be fully milsim. I don't see Call of Duty ever doing that personally. I understand they could maybe do some sort of skin filter, and that would definitely make a lot of people happy, and I would be fine with the skin filter, but I don't see them actually going through and making quite literally every skin milsim. That's just not going to happen. They also decided to give us a little bit of carry forward in some places, because a lot of people were criticizing the fact that there was quite literally zero carry forward happening. A lot of people were saying, why not carry forward some stuff, like for example the Black Ops 6 zombies Easter egg skins? Why can't we carry those forward into Black Ops 7 zombies? And they have announced that all of the Easter egg skins from Black Ops 6 zombies will be available in Black Ops 7. They didn't say specifically just in zombies, so chances are those skins are going to be usable in multiplayer, but the skins were not that crazy anyways, so I don't really think they're going to be out of place in Black Ops 7 multiplayer. But this is a good thing. This is, again, them listening to the community and hearing people saying that they want at least some of the Black Ops 6 skins to carry forward, and they decided to do that. They've also decided that the Prestige Level 1000 skin will be available in Black Ops 7 as well, which is pretty cool. Obviously, them already deciding that they're going to cancel carry forward was already a pretty huge change in and of itself. Like, they did that real quick, and I think that was definitely them listening to feedback and understanding that this game is going to need to win as many people over as possible, so making changes like that makes perfect sense. But I'm glad that they are at least bringing some carry forward, because I am totally fine with those Black Ops 6 Easter egg skins carrying forward. The Guild Override camo that was just added to Black Ops 6 as a Black Ops 7 pre-order bonus is also going to be coming to Black Ops 7 as well through carry forward, so that's pretty cool. Treyarch has also recently been doing a couple of developer talk videos where they just talk about the multiplayer, and so far Matt Scrons has done 2 of them, one that was talking about movement and one that was talking about maps. In the movement video, he basically talks about the fact that the movement is toned down compared to Black Ops 6, but it's still pretty fast-paced. The wall jumps are going to allow for much more vertical gameplay moments, which is definitely pretty exciting. And when it comes to the maps, they made it pretty clear that the multiplayer maps in this game are going to be more traditional 3-lane maps with more defined lane definition, which I know a lot of people are going to say they already said that was going to be the case for Black Ops 6, and it wasn't fully the case. And I don't think this means it's just suddenly not going to be the case for Black Ops 7 because they didn't do it properly for Black Ops 6. I understand why people are skeptical about that statement, and that's totally fine to be skeptical about it, but I personally feel like they are going to learn from their mistakes in Black Ops 6, and the maps are likely going to be much better. Based on what we've seen so far, a lot of the maps look pretty good. They also made it clear the maps are going to be very colorful, which is great. We've already noticed that in the gameplay as well. And they even talked about a specific map called Blackheart, which was shown a lot in the trailers, which is going to be one of the beta maps. And there's a moving platform that was shown in it, which I thought was so cool. I love map dynamic elements with moving parts. The more of that, the better. And the fact that they were showing that as an aspect on this map is very exciting. It looks like it's a platform that you'll be able to wall jump off of as it spins around. So that's really exciting. Can't wait to play this map. They also said that 4 of the maps at launch are going to be smaller maps, but they will be playable in regular 6v6, which is great news. I was so worried they were going to do the same thing that Black Ops 6 did with their strike maps, where strike maps were not available in traditional 6v6 modes. It was only available in gunfight and face-off, which of course face-off is a 6v6 mode, but it's not a traditional mode. There's no score streaks available in face-off, which I really don't like personally. So the fact that they're making these smaller maps available in regular 6v6 modes is good for players like myself who really really enjoy small maps, but only really enjoy it when it's still made like a traditional map that allows score streaks on them. I think Modern Warfare 3 2023 did a fantastic job with this. They had so many small maps in that game, but they were all really solid in that 6v6 experience, and they had score streaks allowed on them. Yes, even a map like Shipment played pretty good in Modern Warfare 3 2023. They also teased that there's going to be a lot of Black Ops 2 remasters for the DLC season. Obviously, they've already confirmed that we're going to be seeing Raid, Express, and Hijacked at launch, but it sounds like there's going to be a lot more coming with the post-launch, but I think we all expected the fact that originally we were supposed to have more Black Ops 2 maps at launch. It's clear they probably already made a bunch of them, so it's not surprising that we're going to see a lot of other Black Ops 2 launch maps during the DLC season. We're probably going to see some Black Ops 2 DLC maps as well, but they did directly tease that Yemen was going to be returning as a map, so that's probably going to be a Season 1 map. Of course, there's also going to be no manual doors on any of these maps in this game, which is great news in my opinion. I'm just not a fan of doors in 6v6 multiplayer, so I'm glad they decided to finally get rid of them because they've been in so many Call of Duties over the past few years. Matt Scrantz also talked a little bit about the time to kill for the game on Twitter, and this is the one thing that I'm not fully happy about, but I do think it is possible they will make some changes, and I really hope they do. And this is the fact that he said the time to kill is very similar to the Black Ops 6 time to kill, which I'm not going to sit here and say the Black Ops 6 time to kill is bad, because it's not bad at all. It's a perfectly fine time to kill. It's kind of similar to the Black Ops 3 time to kill. It is perfectly fine with me. It's on the slower end. It's not a fast time to kill. That's good. But I do think Black Ops 7 should go for an even slower time to kill than Black Ops 6, just to make it stand out even more as its own game. You don't have to go as far as Black Ops 4's time to kill, although I would personally love that, but they don't have to go that far. But at the very least, something like Cold War's time to kill, which was a bit slower than Black Ops 6's, not by a ton, but it was slow enough that I feel like it made the game a little bit more skill-based, rusher-friendly, and gunfights actually existed, which I think is always pretty fun. Especially because we're getting Modern Warfare 4 next year, and that game is very likely going to have a really fast time to kill because Infinity Ward likes that. So I think it would be nice to have this huge contrast between a very slow time to kill and then a faster time to kill with the two Call of Duties back to back. But overall, Black Ops 6's time to kill is totally fine, so I'm not like against this. I just wish it was a little bit slower. We'll see how it plays in game, of course, but I'm probably gonna give feedback wanting it to be a bit slower. He did say health bars are returning, which is really cool because health bars have not been in that many Call of Duty games, and I know some people don't like them. You will be able to turn them off. I personally like them in multiplayer. I don't like them in zombies whatsoever, but I love them in multiplayer. They've only been in Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 4, and Cold War at this point, so I think it would be pretty cool to see it in Black Ops 7. And then the last piece of information that we learned over the past week wasn't actually confirmed. It's just a grain of salt leak, which means it can definitely not be the case, but it's worth talking about regardless. It's coming from the Ghost of Hope, and he says there is a possible chance that we might see disbanding lobbies get removed in Black Ops 7 because Treyarch developers are apparently trying to make that happen. This has been a huge criticism for Call of Duty over the past few years, ever since Modern Warfare 2019 when disbanding lobbies was first a thing. This is of course the fact that you can't stay in a lobby for an extended amount of time. Once you finish a match, it puts you into a completely brand new lobby, whereas in the old Call of Duty games, you got to stay in a lobby for as many matches as you wanted to. Unless the lobby disconnected or you left, you could just stay in that lobby forever, which was great because not only did it encourage the socialization of Call of Duty, if you were like playing against people who were talking with their microphones and they were shit talking you, and maybe you lose the first game but then you want a rematch, so you play against those same people again the second time. That was such a fun part of Call of Duty, but it was also nice because if you just find a good lobby that's really enjoyable, the people who are in it are playing in a way that's really fun, you get to stick with that for as many games as you want. But when disbanding lobbies was first introduced, it killed that, and of course they introduced them because of skill-based matchmaking. It of course makes it easier for their skill-based matchmaking algorithm to work if they keep kicking you out of your lobbies and putting you into new ones. But it seems like Treyarch developers are aware of the fact that people want to see disbanding lobbies removed, so I'm very happy that apparently they are trying to make it happen. It does not confirm it's going to happen, but it's worth mentioning nonetheless. It at least shows us that yes, they are listening and they want to give us what we want. It's just a matter of will Activision let them. The Ghost of Hope also mentioned that it's possible Black Ops 7 might move its release date up. I personally don't see this happening. Maybe they'll do it for like a week, maybe. It's currently supposed to release November 14th. Is it possible they'll move it to November 7th? Maybe. I don't see it releasing in October though. That just wouldn't make any sense because quite literally Season 6 for Black Ops 6 is supposed to release right after the beta around October 9th. So there's no way they're going to release the full Black Ops 7 game on like October 24th, for example, only like 2 weeks after season 6 drops for Black Ops 6. That's just not going to happen. So I personally don't see this happening, but is it possible to move it to November 7th? Possibly. I kind of don't think they have to, though. I'm totally fine with waiting till November 14th. Just make sure the game is as good as it possibly can be. All in all, I do think Black Ops 7 is going to be much better than we are all expecting it to be. I really hope that's the same for Zombies. Obviously, like I said in this video, I'm definitely more hopeful for multiplayer, but I think Zombies could be special as well. I think it definitely will be better than Black Ops 6. I do not see Black Ops 7 in any way being worse than Black Ops 6. That's just not even close to possible in my opinion. Not to say Black Ops 6 was horrible, I just think they're going to improve on what they did in that game in pretty much every single possible way. Now, it's possible there will be a bunch of bugs and other issues like that in Black Ops 7. Let's hope that that's not the case. It would be very nice if this game was somewhat smooth when it comes to its launch and post-launch support. But like I said, I think they're going to be knocking it out of the park with this game. I really think they're putting a lot of work and passion into this game. I think it's going to be much more of a passion project compared to Black Ops 6. A lot of people felt like Black Ops 6 felt more like a corporate product. It didn't feel like it was full of soul like Call of Duty is meant to be. And that's not to say there wasn't passion put into it. I'm sure there was, but we didn't feel it as much. And I feel like Black Ops 7 is going to show it a lot more. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will see you all in my next one. Peace out.